Hello, I'm Robert, and you're always welcome here in my busy little shop. On today's episode of What's on My Workbench, I'm going to make a leather stropping board. It's a simple project, and I encourage you, if you're a leather worker, to make this yourself and don't go buy one. Obviously, you can use leather straight on the workbench, but I like to have it on a board. It's easy to hang, and I know where it's at when I need it. So I'm going to let you follow along as I prepare these boards. So this is the size that I made it. Obviously, you can make it whatever size you want for yourself. I had some 3/4 inch plywood, and that's what I went ahead and cut out for it. And I cut it 18 by 6, and I cut the leather, I think 15 by 5. And I want a little bit of a lip around here, and I'll show you why. This is just the way I'm gonna create mine. And that's it. So I cut the leather. This is some 8-ounce leather that I had, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be fairly flat and smooth. So I'm going to create one side of the board smooth and one side flesh out to help me with my stropping of tools. So the first thing I'm going to do is I don't want a bunch of glue outside of it, nor do I want the edges to lip up on here. So I'm going to draw around this really quickly. Just trace around here. And then I'm going to glue up this and the board. Then once I get this side set, I'll flip it over and I'll do the flesh outside on that one. Just using some contact adhesive here. This is just a simple project. I worked really hard last week finishing up belts. I finished 8 belts last week and a knife sheath. You probably saw some of that on my videos. And I wanted to take a break away from doing some leather work for a little bit of time this morning, so I thought I would go ahead and get this made. I've been meaning to do this for probably a year. I've had this piece of plywood over here. I'm only going to put one coat of contact adhesive on the board because it really doesn't soak into anything here. So I'll get it on here, let this set up, and I'll get contact adhesive on here. One coat of contact adhesive is probably enough, but I'm just going to go ahead and put 2 coats on here. The first one seals the leather pretty well, and the second one will make sure I've got a good layer of contact adhesive to bond to the board. Hope everybody's having a good week. First full week of November here, and it is still hot here in the Phoenix area. I think it was 92 yesterday. Looks like it's gonna be about 90 today. I'm ready for a little bit of a cool down. Last winter it was a little bit chillier than normal throughout the winter. I saw people breaking out their parkas when it got down to 40 degrees. I'd rather be in the 40s than in the 90s. All right, we'll let that set up. I'm gonna go ahead and glue up the one I'm gonna use for the flesh side up. Don't put it on the wrong side, Robert. I don't know if you can hear the cement mixer across the street. They're working on that new house. I think we're going to be hearing that our whole winter season down here doing some kind of work over there, on and off. I think they're getting ready to put the stucco on. All right, I'm gonna get this on here. Doesn't have to be exact. Make it look pretty good though. I'll drill a hole here after a bit so I can hang it on a nail. Let me get some compound to put on here. So I've got two different ones here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub the white on one end and the brown on the other. The brown's a little bit more coarse than the white, and it gives me two different levels of grit to use here. And you don't have to like cake it on there. Just get a little bit on there. A little bit goes a long ways. Be sure to get it on the edges here, because depending on the tool, a lot of times you're using that edge. And on the smooth side, I just put it in one area here. Typically, I just use the raw leather to take the burr off of the tool once I get it on there. All right, so we are ready. So I'm gonna do a video on sharpening tools because I think it's important to know, but if you keep up with stropping your tools, then you never really need to get after it and sharpen it unless you drop it or do something to damage it. And so I'm just gonna put it on here and I'm gonna pull it back towards me. If you see, it's getting dark there. That's some of the metal being taken off of here. Now, getting down here to the finish, same thing here. That dark is metal being left behind. Try not to pull it off the end there like I just did. If you see, that leading edge is really highly polished. I've seen people want to strop and they want to roll their wrist on a strap, and you want to keep it in the correct plane with the stropping board. If you roll it, then you're going to round that edge. And I just pull just a little bit here. You can also use, I use this flesh side here to pull off the wire edge that may develop on there. Let me get a scrap. We'll see how sharp it is. Oh yeah, it's sharp. Almost no effort at all. That's it. Simple little project here today to make myself a stropping board to keep here on the workbench. You know, this is a nice project to help keep your tools sharp. Just helps get a polish on there. And I think more than anything, it just helps give a really nice polished edge. And I'm just kind of rolling this round tool here. And you can see it's got a nice shine to it. It also helps, you'll end up getting some proteins from the leather on there, and this helps to polish and remove that as much as anything. One of the gentlemen that I like to watch him do carving is Bruce Cheney, and he does a really good job of carving, but he also talks about keeping his tool sharp as well. And by no means is this a fancy swivel knife, but even a fancy swivel knife will not do a good job if you don't keep it sharp. And if you watch him when he's carving, he'll cut maybe like 6 or 8 inches, and then he's off the screen with it. And what he's doing is he'll carve a little bit, and then he'll come over and he'll just wipe the 2 sides, strop the 2 sides, and then he'll go back to his carving again. And then he'll disappear over here, and he just gives it a couple of pulls, and his tooling is flawless. Him and Don Gonzalez, I love to watch them do their tooling. And it's really about keeping the tool sharp is a big part of it. Obviously, the other side of it is, you know, having the skill that they have. And I haven't really dug into it too much because I don't know if I've got the patience to learn it. Maybe I need to take a few days and just fiddle with it and see if I get hooked on tooling as well. I hope this helps encourage you to create some of your own tools for your shop. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have an awesome day.